I'd like to know, is this in horizontal? Kryptonian, how you doing, my friend? Welcome in. Does this look like it's in horizontal, or are we having problems this morning like yesterday? It didn't seem to have any problems today, but you never know with YouTube. So just out of curiosity for any of the quick viewers in here, if you're already in here, if you can tell me if it looks in the proper fashion, I would greatly appreciate it. And then based on some feedback I got yesterday, I know how to reach a little bit farther of the audience when it comes to these live settings, at least. So I will actually take a look at it right now. Looks good, Tom. Excellent. And then I'm going to share this to the audience because yesterday they alerted me that they did not get the alert when I actually went live, but when I sent it out myself, and I just did like a manual style alert, they said that they received it. So I'm just going to send that. It'll take 2 seconds. Almost done. Share. And then I'll do one to the members of our channel only. Not paid, but just anybody who's a member. And then I just say live. And hopefully that'll get more of a, more people will be able to see it. But good morning, everybody. It's good to see everybody in here. I was going to do my normal update here on this Friday morning, but I am a little busy this afternoon. My son starts his physical therapy again today at about 2:30. So I figured the best shot we had, because he doesn't have school today, was to do a live this morning. And then we'll go from there. We got a lot to discuss. XRP is down about 1.3%. And we'll take a look at the most, I would say the most opportunity. UK Phil just received it. Oh, some of you are saying you got that alert that I put out. See, that's awesome. That means when I started, as long as I put the alert, you guys will get it if I send it out myself. So beautiful. Yeah, I just sent it that said live. So that's good to see that so many of you received it when I sent it out myself. That said live? It just says live?
No.
Yeah, that's my notification. I just sent it. Oh, you got the, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Even Julie got it on her phone, so that's good to see. So we've got XRP down about 1.35%. Nothing serious, nothing up or down. Tom also got it. George, good. That makes me happy. Makes my day catching the live. Yep, I got the alert. Excellent. That's awesome. That's what I need to do then from now on. I figured it out yesterday that it actually worked a lot better if I just sent it myself after everybody, after it started going for a couple minutes. So I'm good. It's good to see that that actually is working out pretty well. So the good news here this morning is Ethereum. We've been waiting for Ethereum to kind of take the reins here a little bit, opposite of Bitcoin. And today's the first day when I can honestly say Ethereum is starting to make some noise without Bitcoin. And if we're looking for an alt season to come pile in here, this is what we need. For this to start taking off, though, we need to break bullish out of this formation and then start pushing up and out here. We have a massive inverse head and shoulders that is set up. We've had it set up. We're just trying to make sure that we don't have some kind of rising wedge here in the longer term, which, one could argue that maybe that's what's going on. But even in that case, we still need a big push up here on Ethereum, even on a rejection to 4,100. So that's an 800-point move from here, or $800 move. So that's going to leave some volatility. That's going to leave some volatility in the upward direction. No. This isn't going to be bad news. There can be short-term opportunities to the downside, that's for sure, but I don't see any bad news here. Look how close we are to breaking out still. If you go into real time, it's only at $3. And like I said yesterday, for anybody who was here, if you weren't, you wouldn't have seen this, but every single day this is going to come down, this resistance. So yeah, a couple days ago, had we broke out back here, we would have needed to be above $3.22 just on Sunday. But now you get to the end of the week on Friday, and now the breakout points all the way down at $3.10. This is tightening up. And if you look at it with the resistance here, or support, that means it could have tightened up the range from $2.92 to $3.10. That's only an 18-cent swing. Now, if it doesn't hold this uptrend, this yellow line, on the perceived, now we're starting on an uptrend, well, then it can come all the way back down to that $2.62. But that's not what I'm targeting right now. If it's going to come down there, it has to force me into that mindset. But right now, too many bullish catalysts right now. Unless this breaks down, which it could get squeezed down, but that's just something we're going to have to wait for in an opportune moment if it does. But from the all-time perspective, there's much too much liquidation from a short standpoint, especially on Bitcoin. If we do hit that 112K, there's even more if Bitcoin goes up higher. There's a lot of liquidity on XRP's chart as well, around the $3.50 mark. So it makes a lot of sense to go up there. Now, these short-term up and downs, they don't bother me. I've been looking at these drops as opportunities, as some of you know. I've had opportunities with Axelar where I finished off my bag of 10,000 before this now push up. We finished off our bag. Well, if any of you bought Theta Fuel, I finished that off on the recent drops. And that's right about, like I said yesterday, it hasn't gone anywhere. I bought it on these W's right here. And it hasn't gone nowhere. Or, where was it at? 41. Oh, that's not the right one. That's Matic, I was going to say. Theta, we bought on the bottom of this W. It's gone nowhere. Literally, I was at like the 5.7 level. It's at 5.8. It's gone at. So if you're asking me if it's too late for Theta Fuel, based on where I bought it, no. I don't believe so. It looks like the extension starting. These are when I get excited. I was waiting for it to come down to 5.4 cents. But I said, the hell with it. I almost missed it here at 5.8 because I was waiting for 5.1 right here. And then it went all the way up to 10. And then I sat there for a couple weeks and said, oh man, I probably missed this. And now here we are on the last day of January and we're right back down to 5.8 or 5.9. This is so close to where I was looking. And that's right about the 5.4 area right here on the uptrend. So, I mean, I'm trying to take opportunity. There's things that I've wanted and things that I want. Gold, I hope some of my audience paid attention to this. Gold's up over $2,800 an ounce right now, a new all-time high. B2 Gold's on the verge of a big breakout if this continues. Same thing with silver stocks. Silver in itself is up over $31.44 right now. Mining stocks, yeah, they're going to take a little bit of a consistency hit today. Well, they might just end up going up as the day goes on. But silver mining stocks for the last 2 days, Fortuna Silver Mines and First Majestic were up better than 13% in a 2-day period. So they're going to have that, back check time at $5.74 pivot point. That's what I'm expecting today. After a 17% move on First, or what is this one? Oh, this would be for First Majestic. And then on Fortuna Silver Mines, again, another likely correction because it's trying to backtest the breakout. You had a 17 to 20% move on silver miners in 2 days. And then on B2 Gold, it's the same thing. They're working on these massive patterns. This was such a great play right here. We targeted this spot for so long. And it came all the way down there. I ended up feasting all this on this way down. My average, though, is not at $2.21. It's at $2.34. So even I don't have the bottom average. That's what I say. You're never going to get the exact bottom, even though we targeted that push. It's just the average. So from here, that's a nice 27% move. From the bottom, it's come up about 9.3%. So something to see here in commodities. Commodities are starting to wake up a little bit, along with gold and silver. Like gold's up over 2,800, and it's very little talked about. I do have a silver chart I want to share. That shows the upcoming perspective. I have it on my other chart on here too, but I just wanted to show it from a different perspective. And yes, as Jorge said, please don't forget to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. I'm going to be visiting a lot of different avenues in this live today. We're going to be going through a lot of different cryptocurrencies. Obviously, we know tomorrow Ripple will release 1 billion XRP from escrow. So a little bit of price volatility to the downside before that dump is to be expected. And then a little bit of a resurgence probably later on today, but we see this every single month. You just paid your taxes, so little scoops. Yep, I understand that. I always follow the extension on my taxes, even though I've put in everything that's come in, and it's all up to date, my taxes, until I get some of this finer crypto stuff. I always wait until August. I always do the October. I always do the is it October? I don't even remember anymore. But I always do the extension because I'm not giving them until the very end. And then by then I can see everything that's in the tax laws and any updates and all the nonsense. So Real quick, let's do the intro. We're going to get into the technicals. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here. I'm blessed to see 191 people here. About 1/3 of you have hit that like button already, so I really appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that. Why nobody talks about XYO? I don't know. It's not that I don't think it's that nobody talks about it. I don't think it's that nobody talks about it. But it's definitely one that goes under the radar. We've talked about this in the past. It just happened to break out a big way from where we were talking about it before. That was my little drawing, but that was like that's when I made a drawing that I said that this guy was going to throw us down to the lowest of lows. But look, I'm glad you actually brought up XYO today, to be honest with you. I'm being honest, it's a great day I didn't bring it up for no reason. It's a great day for somebody to mention this chart. Because look, it's literally, you could say it was an overzealous cup and now it's building in the handle. And if that's the case, this would be extremely bullish on the way up. So I'll draw this out a little bit better here as the day goes on, and I could probably get a better chart. I probably could get a better chart of XYO, to be honest with you. Man, that's an all-time cup, though. What a time to be alive right now. What a time to be alive. And I know XYO's on crypto.com. I mean, what a time to be alive right now. Look at this freaking pattern. Is anybody familiar with XYO out of curiosity? Since somebody did bring it up this morning. Some of you should be fans of it, I'm assuming, with the way this audience is built. Little overzealous run. Now, maybe it came up to that part of the cup. It's putting in the handle, and if that's the case, that's going to bring us back to all-time highs. That should bring XYO back to all-time highs. Love is absolutely in the air. I've been getting some powerful scriptures from somebody in the audience, and they know who they are, and I've been reading them. And it's definitely given me perspective on being calmer and forgetting that hateful state in any account, even if somebody makes me mad. And it's been doing wonders. He's not in here right now, but he knows who he is. But look at that target. If this played out and this cup actually pushed, that pushes us to all-time highs at 8.3 cents. Wow, I'm definitely going to have to... I didn't realize it was that far along in the pattern. Now, I didn't know the handle was being built because I haven't looked at it in a couple weeks. Wow, since December, all the way through January, it looks like it's building that handle. This would be so... Wow. That's going to be on my chart now. I got to take one look at something real quick. This is some information you can only get during the lives, though, because I ramble on like this when somebody mentions something that I find intriguing. The max supply is, what is that? 13,931,216,000. Yeah, so 13.9 billion is the max supply. And then is there any ISO correlation? I always do this. LCX as well with Micah Riggs. It's gonna be that's another one that I really, really like, LCX. Somebody mentioned this a few days ago as well. But I believe it's ISO. I do. I believe this is an ISO token. It doesn't get talked about a lot. Yeah, this is part of that dpin protocol. See, that's what it is about XYO that always sticks in my head. See, that's another token that's doing the hashtag. I always say the dpin. And when I talk about the dpin protocol, a lot of times you'll hear me talk about IOTX. They partnered with Jasmy, IOTX, with the dpin protocol. And IOTX is up 4.7%. Jasmy was up 30% yesterday and about 1.25% today. But they have the dpin protocol. Interesting. ACH is another one I've been doing a lot of research on the last few days because you keep asking me. That alchemy pay could be something big sometime down the road. It really, really could. And it's starting to try to push out. This was what I found interesting yesterday or 2 days ago when somebody brought this up. And then we'll get into our regular charts. I'm just trying to bounce in and out before I do the intro on some that you guys are bringing up in the comments. Yeah, I don't care. I got this, Julie. Love you too. Man, that is a distinct channel that it's formed. Look at that. Wow. Man, when this breaks out, this is going to be something. Oh, my God. You know, I may just have to, and I'm not talking about throwing 100,000 tokens around on all of these. I may just throw 10,000 tokens at where it's at right now. There's the two of them that have been talked about a lot. This Alchemy Pay is something. At 10,000 tokens right now, it's about 450 bucks. Man, I would almost think 20,000 tokens and give it a shot in the dark. Between that and ACH, man, ACH and XYO, those are two that I could honestly, man, those are two good ones too. Because if you look at the perspective of what's going on, you start to counter different pay markets too, and it's interesting because we're all over the ISO and the IoT. Now with Alchemy Pay and some of this other, man, is a coin that's been popping lately. It's been around since 2018. Yeah, I don't know what SFTFC or the WFTC token is. What was the other one somebody brought up so I can have it on my board? LCX. This is another one that's been very intriguing for me for quite a while. I know it's up there a little higher than the rest, but it, for all intents and purposes, if you look at this chart, it's literally stayed on the uptrend the entire time. Nice flag that looks like, some of these just look like they're getting ready after years and years and years to finally make a big move. Now, in September, this was at 7 cents, so this is already up a couple 100%, which is common for this part of the cycle. Uptrend started. It's got a nice cup. Looks like this is a handle being built. It's interesting. It's certainly interesting if you take a perspective from resistance, overzealous breakout. Then you kind of just line it up like this so you can see this all-time setup. Man, that is quite intriguing if you look at it from an all-time perspective, because if this breaks out, man, oh man. There's so much. That's why I say if you miss something in crypto, there's so many different opportunities. Now, mind you, this one, as we can see, has already had a mild breakout. But eventually, it's going to be 2 or 3 times more than it's at. I'm telling you, a lot of these, for some reason, they're showing this alt season. Like, it's right around the corner. Right around the corner is what it looks like. So, yeah, LCX, not awful. ACH. Oh, man. They're all stuck within this small consolidation. Yeah, ACH has come up quite a bit, too. A couple 100%. That's why I like doing the lives. I would have never expected to talk about these 3 tokens today. There's some massive potential there. I almost dare say, out of the 3, I almost say I'm more intrigued about XYO. No, maybe not. Because that's gone up 389% from there. They've all gone up about the same, but these are some intriguing patterns that on breakouts, you're talking about 2 to 3 times where these are at. So I'll keep an eye on those for everybody. I definitely will. Normally when I take an eye on stuff, I will take out a personal holding if I see it's necessary. And I can already tell you with Alchemy Pay, I've been thinking about it for the last week. And people keep bringing it up. Now, do I wish I would have done it at the weekend if I was going to? Well, I mean, I guess you could say that it's doubled. It's doubled since a few days ago, since about a week. So we'll look at all that. We'll continue watching that. I don't know if I'm going to buy any of that, but it's definitely something to pay attention to. And it's cheap. It's definitely cheap. It's just, there's been a nice little subtle rise there. So we'll get into our normal technicals now. I appreciate 236 people being in here. I appreciate all of I've been stocking up on Luna. Are you talking about Luna like Luna? Or is this a different one? Like the new edition of Terra. I'm not a big fan of Luna. Not because I don't think it can do anything, but the way that Lena, okay, good. Good. Linear finance, that's fine. If it's linear finance, it's fine. I was just making sure that it wasn't a misprint. Lena's fine. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't Luna. I think Binance had this one on for a very long time. Wait a minute. Somebody presented us something at the bottom of its cycle. I'm going to have to do a little more search on this. Let's see. I love when somebody brings me something at the bottom of a cycle and not already up several 100%. Who mentioned that one, by the way? Kudos to you. First things first, I always look at the max supply of a token. Whoops. Thank you, B. I appreciate it. So, the maximum supply is 10 billion Lena. They've got about 62.8% in circulation right now. Let's see. Many find the legacy financial system unwelcoming. What is this crap? Legacy financial system unwelcoming. It can be hard to access for ordinary people, exclusionary towards smaller investors, prone to high fees, slow and unavailable outside of banking hours. What's more, an ever-growing number of investors are turning to the exciting new asset class of cryptocurrencies, which are still, for the most part, inaccessible through the traditional financial system. But what if there was a way to easily gain exposure to innovative digital and traditional financial products in the same place? That's intriguing already. While thanks to Linear, there is interest in Linear, LNINA, but not sure what it's all about or where it even began or to even begin. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. Having a guide to explain. So what is Linear? Linear finance aims to promote inclusivity and democratize. I'm having a hard time talking. Access to digital and traditional investment assets by providing a non-custodial cross-chain compatible Delta 1 asset protocol. The Linear team combines knowledge from blah, blah, blah. Renovation liquids, which are synthetic assets that users can create, trade, and manage with zero slippage. Liquids can represent assets. Hey, this looks like an innovative process. Initially, the pledge ratio will be set at 500%. That's a pretty big, that's interesting. Synthetic assets are the major innovation Linear brings to the crypto sector. What gives Linear value? It's a governance token. I'm always a little bit of a fan of a governance token if you can find the right one, as you guys know. This is what always makes me suspect. I hate when it says this. This is the money shot. So in addition to its seed funding, which is fine, Linear raised a further $310,000 through an initial coin offering. Lena are reserved for the team, and so out of the total supply, 10% of Lena are reserved for the team, 5% for advisors, both of which are subject to a vesting schedule. A further 10% of the total supply was allocated to the ecosystem, 15% to Linear Finance Reserve, and 40% for staking rewards. It's basically on an exchange like, it basically is, when they say the governance token, it's basically responsible for getting the transfer of fees and the gas or the gas fees and it's usually responsible for the gas fee portion and then being able to transfer. So like on the XRP ledger, I guess you could say XRP is kind of like a governance token, but it's not. But that's what's in charge of the gas fees and things like that. But now, should you be swayed by the initial coin offering? It's got a very low market cap. That's the question. We've kind of run it into our lingo that if there was an initial coin offering that could be an issue down the road. What do you guys make of that? Do you put a lot of stock into the initial coin offering on this token? Like, I want to know what my audience perspective is. I would love to know. But I got to get into the other technicals. It's just interesting on this one. Because this one is absolutely coming to a bottom if it's meant to break out. It's almost down to its short-term bottom. That's why I'm asking that question. Like, what do you make of that? I'm being honest. What do you make of the initial coin offering? Is it noise? Or do you think it's perspective of that's going to be a token that might not survive it? But most of the governance tokens did have an initial coin offering. So, I mean, that's why, what's the regulation going to say when it comes to initial coin offerings down the road? I honestly don't know which perspective they're going to take. There's a lot of perspectives that we could take, but I want to get back to our normal coverage. I do. I kind of went outside the box here because I wanted to. Sometimes I like to see some of the tokens that I'm not as familiar with. Gives me something to strive for. So that's where you're looking at resistance, and you got a nice support structure. So on a breach up, you'd be looking at a very healthy move. The next time this makes its bounce, and it probably will in the short term. Holy shit. It's looking very promising, to be honest with you. This almost looks like a descending triangle forming. These are very bullish reversals when it's all said and done. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I mean, somebody suggested this at the bottom of the chart. 003 it's at right now. Traded your Casper for HBAR. I don't hate Casper. It's just that some of the founders ran away with money that they shouldn't have. And the project continues on. But they definitely did some shady shit in the middle of the summer. So that's why a lot of people are shying away from Casper. I don't usually back a company that steals funds. And I used to be a fan of Casper. Well, you tell me they're stealing user funds, I'm not going to support them. I could love something to death. Even XRP, if I found out that the price tanked by 50% because they're stealing user funds, like Brad Garlinghouse stole $500 million or $2 billion and ran away. But I don't know. All the stories could be bullshit too, because I've read them in so many different ways that it's starting to become comical. But I was up a significant amount on Casper. As some of you know, I sold before that story ever came out because the charts didn't look right. I said there should have been a breakout. It was a point in the middle of the summer. Didn't smell right. That there's no reason it should have broke down when the market was as upward volatile as it was. And that was one of them that ended up breaking down by like 75%, while some of the market was actually cooking a little bit. But let me do my intro, and then we're going to get into these charts. Good morning. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday. Did I already do my intro? I don't know, but it's the last day of the month, so we better do it twice if I've already done it. So good morning. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, January 31st, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Can you guys believe it's already the last day of January? And man, has it been a interesting month of January. But for me personally, because of a few of you in the audience who have sent me special scriptures the last few days now, you've helped me turn what could have been a little slippery slope where good days for the most part, but some bad energy, even from myself, was coming out at certain points. And I want to just thank everybody for lending the hand of the right light, sending me towards the light instead of sending me to the darkness. Because, you know, you do need the darkness so that you can see how beautiful the light is and the good and the bad, so you can see the difference and see where you fit in. But I will say it's been a very positive month for me personally. Even though there's been a lot of up and downs, I think personal growth is important. And I think the month of January has been very important for me so far. Now, the fact that 1/12 of the year is already gone doesn't sit right with me. If I didn't know any better, I would say that the time has sped up a little bit and like we're spinning faster than we should be. But at the same time, at least we're spending each of the days together. We each get one day older, so we don't take this life for granted. And I am blessed that I am 41 years old, and I would not want to go back. Some people are like, wouldn't you rather be in your 20s? Absolutely not, because that's the stress, the grind, the struggle in your early years, your teen, your 20s, and through your early 30s. That's where you have to grind. by the time you're 40, you should be set in your ways. And if you're not, it's going to be some problems. That's why I had a goal. By the time I was 40, I wanted my house paid off. And at 30, I had dick. I had negative in my bank account. I was living not even paycheck to paycheck because I couldn't even afford to eat at work. I was living negative to negative is what it felt like in 2000. When did me and Julie get together? 2014. But yeah, I every year I get older, I've embraced it. There's so many people that don't make it even to 41. But I definitely don't want to go back. I definitely don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I'd rather just keep pushing forward, and life experience is something. My son's almost 6 now. He'll be in July. Got a 17-year-old stepdaughter that's going to be 18 next month in February on the 18th, who's going to college. I've got, the 11 or the 12-year-old stepdaughter it's just going too quick. It's just going too freaking quick. Oh, I got to read that uphold question because I have still not had any saving grace from them about the 1,000 XRP. They still won't release out of Julie's account. It's been like that since earlier in 24. Tom, revisit uphold about your crypto. There is a new 800 number that was just implemented. Just Google uphold customer service. Oh, that's not a bad idea. 777 DW Brown, excellent. When buying on BITUNIX, what trust line do you use? What do you mean? On BITUNIX, I don't have to put in a trust line. I didn't know. I never create a trust on BITUNIX, to be honest with you. I just trade on BITUNIX. I didn't. The only spot I ever did a trust line on was like in my Zaman wallet. Unless you're talking about an external wallet. Was H? No. We'll get into hbar. But thank you for that, DW Brown. Not just the $5 donation and being in Tom's Army for 2+ months now, but also for the information about that hotline number. That'll be interesting. I'll give further feedback on that when appropriate. So, $3.10 we're looking at for XRP. That is where we need to get over. We have not been able to break out of it yet. Slightly bearish candle here. Possibly in this prior 3 hour, but who really cares about the 3 hour? 4 hour, that actually looks like it could be favorable. We could be switching a short-term bearish momentum that came down to 305. If we can close this candle over $3.10, we could be cooking. But we're at that very, very ominous spot of the chart right now that can get people in trouble. We're below the 20-day right now and the 4 hourly. Okay, so if we look at it from, all right, this 4 hour closes, we go boom, boom. We'll put it right about here. That's about $3.11. Hello, Julie. 311.5. Julie, it's been 33 minutes already. So I got about 20 minutes or so. So I'm very optimistic about what's going on here. There is nothing that's telling me that this should break down to extreme lows. But if it happens, I'll be the first to tell you. If it comes down below this uptrending yellow line at 292, well, maybe got to get our helmets on because we might be getting a little bit of a, it might be a volatile swing down to $2.62 area. But only if that breaks down. Right now, everything I'm seeing doesn't look like it's pointing to a breakdown. Yes, it looks like there's optics to trick everybody. I understand that. But with Bitcoin, we've talked about the symmetrical triangle that was breaking out. And it did. It backtested the symmetrical triangle. Now it looks like it's building the handle on the cup. I predict Bitcoin, as I've said from the very beginning, when we diagnosed that cup, before we ever broke out, we've had this cup diagnosed forever. Even before it even flew out like this, we suspected, right? We have a bigger cup below that we had already drawn out. So we suspected the 122,000. But you see what happened? The targets often will be emulated. They will be refined at a later time within pattern setups. Isn't it ironic that it created a cup and handle up here that gives us a technical target of the exact same technical target of the actual initial cup and handle? I told you patterns typically reform themselves. So you'll start seeing the same pattern in smaller semblances as you go on. That doesn't mean that's the end, but that's where the end was targeted at the start of this move. 122,000 was the target at the start of this move. This just happens to, on this symmetrical triangle breakout, that wasn't a rising broadening wedge. The symmetrical triangle breakout that formed a cup and handle now. Remember, that was a symmetrical triangle that it formed out of a rising broadening wedge. And when it was forming the symmetrical triangle, I said, look at this. This just formed a bullish consolidation within a very bearish consolidation. Broke out, back tested the symmetrical triangle. So when some will say that technicals aren't important, they absolutely are, because you were able in real time with me, just by getting this resistance and a second resistance here, we were able to say that is no longer a rising broadening wedge. It is, but it could come all the way back up to 122 and still be in a rising broadening wedge. And then it could finish off the totality of Bitcoin's pattern from the start of the breakout all the way down at, well, I mean, it was way down when that cup and handle was forming initially. Not this one, but the initial one. But now you've given yourself an opportunity by understanding technicals to know, even with that drop 2 days ago when I said, I'm not selling shit. I'm going to buy more of stuff if it gives me the opportunity. Bitcoin's on the top side of a breakout, back tossing the symmetrical triangle as support instead of resistance, while simultaneously creating a handle for a very sneaky cup there. So I said a lot of people were selling out of their Bitcoin and crypto, and it was the wrong time. It was the wrong time, especially for Bitcoin. When technical targets haven't been filled, you find a way to get there. That's why I put even on this. Break this super bullish to 114K initially. I put that there for a reason. Even though the target's 121 or 122, that initial breakout target from the symmetrical triangle is 114. So then if you got rejected at 114.4, you could technically say, well, that was a fake out of the symmetrical, and now the rising broadening wedge is not willing to give up. But it's still, even with the rising broadening wedge, this theoretically should come up to the resistance point one more time. But I don't know. I think it's coming out of that pattern. But what I'm saying is that it could be an ultimate rejection there. But let's worry about that when we get up to 122K. Let's worry about XRP when it finishes wave 5. Like, yeah, there's short-term volatility. And if it goes dead, it goes dead. But it's going to have to prove to me that this is not super bullish right now. It's going to have to prove to me this is not. I repeat, this is not super bullish to me. Because I believe, with everything I'm seeing, we've only done 4 waves for XRP. We had a technical target out of a descending wedge that was $5.49. We have an overall long-term target of $6 plus $6.79, but staying within transparency, because that $6.79 would take work, but $5.39 out of the pennant, $5.49 out of the descending wedge. Now we've got $4.43 out of this short-term consolidation after 370. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to look and be like, okay, I understand that there's a lot of volatility, but there's a lot of reasons to be sitting here today and say, we should be very thankful for where we're at, to be honest. We should be very thankful. Let's see, sing sunny days. I'm going to put this as my goal. Just show love. You don't have to donate. There's no reason to send a donation, a YouTube super chat if you don't want. This is simply a nice way. Now I'll put it at 5 super chats for me to get some positive promotion for love. And now sunny days obviously is something I will do at the end if I need to, which I don't mind doing it ever. And then somebody asked me yesterday, and I almost forgot. They told me to make a way to donate while I'm live through crypto so that you don't have to send through YouTube. Now, mind you, I expect 0 people to do this. So I will put it up there just for the sake of putting it up there for the people who asked me the last several days that I never do it. So I'm going to put, and we'll see. If somebody does do it, so be it. If nobody does it, so be it. I don't live based on this. So XRP wallet, and then XRP, and then destination tag. Remember, you gotta have both. Destination tag. And I'm only doing this because somebody asked me yesterday. You're gonna have to copy this. That's the problem. That's the problem. JIB, thank you so much for the 50 SEK. Wow. Haven't seen that kind of currency in a while. What the hell is this SEK? Oh, fuck, I can't remember. Swedish something. I know that's Sweden. I don't remember. Can somebody tell me? Ah, that's it. The Swedish krona. Thank you. I knew it was something like that. Sorry, I'm still looking through this chat on my phone. Swedish krona. Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Now that's quite a bad ratio for you where you're at with that particular currency, because I know the U.S. outweighs it a lot, so it's actually costing you a little bit to send it. So I do appreciate that generosity, my friend. So we're looking for XRP to break out of this 4-hourly, as we said, might be a nice reversal here. This could be the start of something. We want to close over this $3.10 on this 4-hour candle, and we could start cooking. Because we had a downward. This is technically a reversal, and it's showing a lot more top-end pressure, which is what we want to see. This could be something here. We could be starting something here. In the 4-hourly, that's what we want to see. I feel really good about what I'm seeing here. DGB's up 2.74%, which is awesome to see. It's come up a little bit over the last several days. It's breaking out of the short-term descending triangle, and that's incredible. It's an incredible opportunity here. What's been forming, and I've talked about it. I've built up to 1.2 million DGB, which is not the most in the community. Somebody's got over 2 million building it with me. So I love seeing that because our baby's doing something. Oh, there's a huge pattern. If you're talking about DGB, there's a massive pattern here that I'm only showing the back end of it. But yeah, it's a massive cup and handle. It's a massive cup and handle. And this is how, if you guys see that 4.3 cent target that I continuously talk about, how it's got eyes for that target. Even on the short-term cup here, it would bring it up to here. Now, I'm looking at it as it's going to eventually fill it out right here at 2.7, if I'm being honest. And that's where I'm going from up here. I'm projecting into the future a little bit. And I like to be honest with the audience. We're projecting a little bit. So that could bring us a little bit higher even, but there's several areas. So I look at it from the first area that it's technically created already right here. And that gets you the shorter target. And you can already see how you had a cup and handle formed here. Whoops. So that's how I get that intermediate target at 3.5. But it's actually, like I've said before, it's way over this still. This target, I think the cup is way higher, but you can't start the ultimate cup at 7.8 cents until you fill out this short one at 4.2 and the even shorter one here around 2.2. So, but I still have a massive goal with DGB. A massive goal for DGB. If it ever comes back down below a penny, I'm going to end up buying a lot more. But after 4.3 cents, then you can start looking at, remember, I was just trying to project it. So, if this ultimately comes up here, as I'm expecting it to, so I'm looking at this as an ultimate cup up here eventually. This is obviously in time. Remember how I did the XRP analysis when it was at 38 and 45 cents? And I projected it out into the pattern we're in right now. And I said it's going to look crazy because it was back in late 23. It's going to look crazy. But when this plays out, it's not going to be so crazy. And it's only that low until it's not. It's the same thing with DGB. It looks crazy. There's also a secondary phone number there for like a BBB for crypto. Also, will you please go over how to buy crypto using Mexi and a debit card? I don't know about Mexi. I use crypto.com with the Visa debit card. But I don't buy any. I haven't sent money onto an exchange since 2020. I don't even remember, 21, 22. Because I've had all my liquid funds on here for years now. But from what I've seen, XRPH is finding uptrends along. Absolutely. We'll go over XRP healthcare as well. So I'm not exactly sure what the question was before. But if we project with DGB and, you know, I'm XRP future millionaire with the side bet on excellent future Digibyte OG. And if I project this like I did with XRP for the long term, and this isn't even the long term, like that's what I mean. Like if you look at this by projections, yeah, that part of the cup could get you up to 13.7 when it's formed. But does anybody actually see what DGB's doing? And yeah, I got to keep some of these numbers and lines up because they're all-time lines and in between targets. But let's just be honest with ourselves. In time, what does XRP future millionaire or future Digibyte OG see with this chart? And why am I so excited about buying it here and when it was way lower at 004? I see this in time. I see that. So if you're asking me what I see an all-time cup and handle that will be built in the future that we do not even pay attention to right now. That's why I look at short-term volatility and what's building. But imagine this builds out in the exact same frame, and eventually, maybe it's a year, maybe it's 2, maybe it's 5, who the hell knows? But in time, I believe that this is not just going to break all-time highs. I believe it's in an all-time cup formation. And I've been very clear about this for a very long time since this drop first started 3 years ago. And now it started around the bottom in 22, continue in 23 and 24, and now in 25 it's starting to round up. If this happens and this breaks out, you're talking about, and this is a future projection, obviously. This is my future projection that I never talk about. 30 cents is what I'm looking at for DGB in the future. And yeah, that's not $1. But I'm honestly feeling secure with the fact that I believe DGB can get up there. And at 1.18 cents, that's a 2,469% move. And from our 0.004 purchase, even though my average is around about 0.007 now, yeah, hell, let's go from 0.007 with all of them put in. I'm okay. We'll do it. Oh, not 6.3. I'd rather do it at 7.2. Because I don't want to have... That's 0.7 way up there. We'll go from 0.007. I mean, I'm looking at a 4,200% move in time. So when I say it's going to take patience, this is exactly what we talked about XRP when it was at the bottom. Patience. XRP's not even done the imaginable and finished it off at $6 and something cents. But DGB's got a long ways to go in the overall outlook, in my opinion. And I am so happy to have it at these levels and as much as I've bought. In my wildest dreams, I never would have thought with everything I own that I'd have 1.2 million DGB. I never thought it. But, you know, that's the way it goes. I think this has been a very, very blessed live so far. Ooh, Spell. Wow, I haven't heard about Spell in years. I used to buy Spell, and we used to make a lot of money off of it back in the day in our community when it was unknown. But then it had a rather massive push up. And then everybody kind of just forgot about it. Man, I wish I would have paid attention to it on the short-term cup for all that time. Damn it. We were watching this too. This isn't the right chart, but we were watching this. It's about to break out. That all-time cup is finally starting to break out. Nothing I can go back to now. But there was in the not-so-distant past when I used to talk about this one quite religiously. That is a big setup there if it plays out. Holy smokes. 70% initial move out of there. Yeah, not knowing anything about it, though, is pretty dangerous. HBAR's been breaking out. When I look at these charts, HBAR's continuing its breakout. It hasn't finished it yet. It's still got eyes for... Next level is 43 cents, roughly. That's just the top. That's how you build that out and put the projection. But in time, I believe we've got a big move coming to $1.10 overall. Big cup. We've got a massive cup formed. I put the target off of if that cup fills properly, and that brings us up to $1.10. So big opportunity on HBAR. I bought my HBAR a long time ago. Very long time ago. And I've just been sitting on them since 4.5 cents. I don't even think we're close to where we're going. And yeah, it is starting to break out. This short-term breakout, as long as it didn't fall below 28 cents in real time, short-term breakout would be up to 43.5 cents. So absolutely. Who said something about Swift? You confident in $10 plus? In the future with XRP, but what I am confident about is $5.40 and then ultimately around $6.79. LCX and TMNs especially will move soon. I love it. Just sent me 2 XRP. Ooh, I want to see if that... Yeah, I definitely got... Let's see. Yeah. I thank you for that. Who said that? It worked. Beautiful. Somebody legitimately sent me 2 XRP. Who was that? I got to see the name. Mark, thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Julie, somebody sent me 2 XRP. Yeah. It's not about the size of the donation. It's about the respect. It can be 1 XRP. I don't care. I love it. I love the fact that the generosity. That's $6 right there too. It's crazy because XRP used to be like that'd be $1. Now it's $6. That's something, man. That is something. Alt season win. Well, very simple. One, we need to have Ethereum outpace Bitcoin, which is finally starting to happen a little bit. We need to have the altcoin season index start moving towards the alt season. Right now, we're still closer to Bitcoin season. We're starting to push out of Bitcoin season, though. We've got to get past 50. Once you get to 51, you're technically in the neutral area. You're outside SWFTC on a gut feeling. I'm going to go look at that, too. But you want to see this be over 50 to start pushing from Bitcoin season into the altcoin start of the season. But then traditionally, you want to be over 70. Once you get into that dark blue around 70, you're cooking. So we're still ways off, though. But Ethereum is starting to show us something. But I want to look at that Swift token. What is that? SWFTC. Where did you buy it out of curiosity? So it's on Coinbase, Poloniex, MEXC. Coinbase makes sense. Oh, it's up 747% already. Oh, my God. Oh, man, this is one I wish somebody would have brought to me in November. Yeah, see, I could advocate for you to buy here, but this would be like me telling you to buy XRP at $3.10 instead of buying it at 40 cents. That'd be the same question here. Why are we buying it at 3.2 and not 0.005? That's a massive flag, though, that looks like it's getting ready to explode, though. So there's no doubt about that. I don't know. That might be a little too rich for my blood with how much it's already moved, to be honest with you. I don't tend to chase. That's up 472% right now. Not saying, I mean, that's a massive flag. This could technically. 7.9. Shit, that's actually... For the ones who got in at 0.004, you are cooking. Why didn't you mention it at 0? Maybe you did. I mean, if it plays out, you're looking at a double up from here if it plays out. But yeah, that's a dangerous one with how much it's gone up, but it definitely looks like it's starting to... It looks... That's the Swift coin, it looks like. That's ultra volatile. Volume does predict price. Volume is definitely surging a little bit here. I'm not saying Spell isn't good right now at all. I didn't say it wasn't good. I showed the chart. Out of all the ones you guys have shown me today, like, or have me look up, this one's already, I mean, they're breaking out, but this is still within the formation of the initial breakout. I tend to try to look at ones that are still in that initial breakout structure, which this one's definitely Alchemy pays in the initial breakout structure. You mentioned it back in June, but I didn't push it. That's fair. That's fair. I'll be honest, I didn't even realize there was that FW. I must have overlooked it in the comments. But SWT, I've not even, I wasn't even aware of that token for the most part, to be honest. I don't know why, but I wasn't paying attention to that side of it, to be honest. So, good call there. Especially in the summer, great call. Yeah, so that's Alchemy Pay. Like I said, it's come up from about 2 cents up to 4.6 already. But it's still within the consolidation structure. Still within the consolidation structure. And then Lena, bottom of the consolidation structure. And that's way at the bottom. So there's definitely some tokens that have been discussed by the audience. And that's down at 0.003. And this looks like it's starting to reverse up now. It's gone up a few percent since we first talked about it this morning. Honestly, out of all of them, that's the one that intrigues me the most for some reason. I must be honest. It's good to see Jasmy's trying to wake up a little bit. Cryptos, Alchemy Pay. Yeah, I did cover it. I did cover Alchemy Pay. Yeah, I drew this out while we were on the air today, just so we could get a closer look at the directive. And, like, I don't hate it. I'm not hating what I'm seeing. Like, every bit of this, I don't hate it because it looks like it's working on short term, but longer term, it looks like it's building a cup from all the way up here. Like, it really does. It looks like it's trying to get back up to that 10-cent area. That's interesting. Because where it's at right now, that's a pretty substantial move. A lot of these are looking at substantial moves, though. That's what I mean. The market doesn't look as dead as it's being led on. It's not. It's not as dead as it looks. TrueFi. I have not checked out TrueFi yet. I only have very, very little knowledge of ZBEC. I don't have the appropriate knowledge to be telling somebody if they should buy or sell it. I mean, I suppose I could if I looked at the chart. But I mean, from a fundamental standpoint, I've seen this token on crypto.com, so it's not like I haven't seen it. Oh. Oh. Now, ooh. This is what I'm talking about. Who the hell brought this up? This is what I'm talking about. Prior to a breakout, you can clearly see a descending pattern. Whoa. You know, I do like to take chances when I see certain charts. I take back what I said. Out of all the charts, well, I'll be damned. I'm actually a little stunned right now that that chart looks like that. Look at Zobac. Hey, thank you for 43 months, Mr. Sampson. Holy crap. He's been in this audience since literally the beginning. Man, I gotta look at two things with this real quick. This, wow. Is this one of those like trillion coins max supply, which doesn't even matter? That's not even terrible. 50.88 billion? That's the current circulating supply. What's the max supply? Because like with Theta Fuel, for anybody, remember, Theta Fuel puts out 5% per year of their token. They've got a max supply, but they put out 5% each year. Where's it delisted at, driver? I don't know. I'm trying to get some information on this. Canada Asset Managers apply for XRP ETF. Wow. Holy crap. So much cool stuff going on. On-chain supply burn tokens. Wow, they burn a lot of tokens as well. Man, that's a small cap too. I don't know, man. Ooh. Let me look at something. I gotta look at something real quick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to millionaires. Nope, not yet. If you want to talk about going from 4 to 5 to 6 figures, you can talk about that, but we have not achieved 7 figures, and I won't even lie about it. It's not part of the process yet. We're working. You don't get there overnight. Man. Fuck it. My gut's telling me to do this, so I'm living or I'm dying. I'm living or I'm dying with this. I will honestly say, coming into this live, I would have never expected to have that token by the end of it. I've seen setups like that before in the not so distant past. So, whoever talked about Zebek, who was that? Who talked about Zebek? Oh, that's on this exchange, yeah. It's not delisted. It's actually still there. I don't know why it says delisted. It's actually not delisted on crypto.com. I don't know why it says delisted. I just looked on crypto.com. I don't know why. I don't know why it says that, but it's starting to it's trying to move out of this. I like that chart because it was bigger than the other ones. It could just be that the pairing changed on their exchange. It happens. It might be that it switched to this because this is crypto.com here as well. Yeah, that's what happened, I think. Yeah, ZBCN. It switched to CBCN on their exchange instead of ZBC. That's all that happened. It's not actually delisted, but I put the chart on the wrong one. Tanya says, I'm here, Tom, just doing my weekend cleaning with you in the background. Love it. So I got 1 million of these, to be honest. But my son needs me to go. He's telling me, let's go. I'm sick of hearing you talk. So where was the other chart? Because I really like seeing the long-term chart here. Because this is the one that comes all the way from the back. And it stopped in September. So you get to see it play out a little bit. And it's a little bit lower now. Well, maybe not a little bit lower. It was at 104, now it's at 102. So yeah, a little bit lower. It's definitely a little bit lower than where it because they changed the name. It looks like. I would look at it like that. And then I'm going to go because my son needs me. So I appreciate everybody. And then just look at that little bit of a channel form. But this is absolutely one that's pretty much on the bottom still. It's come up a little bit. About 25, 30%. But for transparency, I did pick up 1 million of these. About $1,000. Yeah. So that's where we're at. I'll sing sunny days later when I see you guys tonight. Have a blessed day. My son needs me. And family.